On the floor, left of the desk.
Oh, my God. I think it's Brian Kingsley.
Are you hinting at something? Like maybe this was a non-accident?
3 fail-safe units failed catastrophically at the same time.
A housekeeper who's part sex kitten, part nuclear scientist.
Are you the housekeeper?
Yes.
If you want to spend your evenings with a computer, be my guest. I prefer human companionship.
You're making a bomb, weren't you?
Austin, you don't know what a good time is.
Scared the hell out of me, Mouse. Are you supposed to be patrolling in the biomedical wing? Nice talking to you, too. Oh, my God.
There's been some kind of explosion in the nuclear design lab. Radiation? Look, hold. Check the seals. Make sure the airlocks are secured and functioning. Contained, we're okay.
If not, we have a Code L long condition.
Are you okay?
What took you so long?
Took me so long. I wasn't wearing a jet engine. You made it sound like an emergency. Is it?
Jack, I've just proved that there are a finite number of palindromic primes.
Do I notify the president or just the major TV station?
Both. But first I want you to get the International Mathematics Register on the line, tell them who I am, and read them the numbers on these pages. Why aren't you wearing your beeper?
My beeper? Austin, it's Saturday night. There's an old custom you probably never heard of. It's called dating.
That's a new dress.
You like it?
Yeah, the material's fire resistant. Good. And I like the way the color washes out the pigment in your eyes.
Thanks. I think.
How well do you know this guy?
What guy? Oh, David? Austin, that's a personal question. You never asked me a personal question before.
Oh, a question's a question. I don't distinguish between types. You met him today, didn't you, jogging in the park?
How'd you know?
Lingering flush in your face. You were at it an extra long time.
So romantic. David pretended to sprain an ankle. I'll save you the trouble. He has long, blonde, wavy hair.
And a classic male pattern hair loss syndrome. In 10 years, he'll be completely bald.
He's very nice. Completely bald?
Completely. I'd say 6'1". A slight smudge of lipstick in the right corner of your mouth suggests you had to lean down to kiss you goodnight. On the first date, Mickey?
Shouldn't I be busy making you famous or something?
And the odor he left behind in your new dress suggests he's a smoker. Non-filtered Virginia tobacco.
He's quitting.
He's lying.
Now, how could you possibly know?
The relationship began with a lie, pretending to sprain his ankle. Dishonesty rewarded is dishonesty repeated.
If you want to spend your evenings with a computer, be my guest. I prefer human companionship. What is that?
Emergency phone call, restricted party. Code 41. Give me a live mic in the intruder's end.
I've been calling him for half an hour. I swear if he doesn't answer, I'll go down there myself and break in the door. I know he's programmed his system never to accept a call from me.
Cut it. Howard. Calling from a phone booth outside Serendip.
He sounds upset.
I'm going to regret this. Patch it in. I'm right here, Howard.
Awesome. Thank God. Get down here fast. There's been an accident.
Two men just cover the perimeter. And please, officer, no press beyond that point.
Don't worry about it. I can handle it.
What took you so long? I haven't been able to reach Kingsley or Putnam either.
Saturday night, Howard.
Well, we're clean out here, and the NDL lab seals are holding fine.
How long has this been going on, nuclear materials Serendip?
A year, maybe longer. It was an experiment passed by the board. It needed a good-sized atomic pile.
You were building a bomb?
Absolutely not. If it's any of your business. Who is this girl?
The secretary you said I needed. Have you been in yet?
In? In there?
We have to make sure it's contained.
I'm an administrator, officer. My role is out here. Liaison to the media. Concerned but assured. Nobody handles a PR crisis like Howard Milhouse.
It's good practice for the financial crisis, environmental crisis, legal crisis, and corporate identity crisis that comes next. Sit on and make it look broad in the shoulders.
You better tell me about the experiment. We thought we had a way to make protons decay. Would have been the perfect energy source. Didn't work. Let's see what we've got. That's a very hot room, Howard. The death. Oh, my God. Who is it? I think it's Brian Kingsley. The one with shoot out the suit. He always wore pinstripes. Herbal tea? Sunflower seeds? Kingsley was a fanatic about his health, wasn't he? Yeah, I played tennis with him. Tennis? Man in there is a knee injury. Got it about 6 months ago. He said it didn't bother him. How do you know the man in there has a bad knee? The shoe? Scuff mark? Something happened, he shipped the wear to one side. To the degree it shipped, it was most likely a knee injury. Scuff marks also indicated a lefty. Is Brian Kingsley left-handed? Yeah. He couldn't still be alive. Could he? I mean, there's no chance. No, everything in that room is dead. Including the bacteria. What's that? Local security. Probably tripped something on the way in. Now, Ben, though. Charlie 197. You have any idea why Kingsley would have been down here tonight? He was always here. The NDO was his pet project. He'd like to come down at night to get away from everybody. Well, if he wanted privacy, he's got it now. Nobody will be bothering him in here for the next 10,000 years.
10,000 years?
Unless some future generation finds a way to neutralize radiation, whole civilizations will rise and crumble around him while he lies in there quietly entombed. Which means you better get busy dumping 50 tons of concrete around that room.
How do I explain that at the end of the hall? Sure, I'll call it the Brian Kingsley Wing. I mean, why not? He's the one who'll be occupying it. Oh, here's Harold Putnam, finally. Harold. What's the damage? Harold, Brian Kingsley was in the lab.
Dear Lord. Rebecca, his wife, is standing over there. I'll tell her. Brian and I didn't get along. He wasn't a very likable person, but Brian was working on one of my projects.
No, it's my job. Listen, I want you as my acting chief executive officer until the board can make it permanent.
Whatever I can do, Howard.
I want to see the design of the pile's cooling system, the engineer's plans.
Takes a minor nuclear disaster to bring the president down to the office.
Take it easy, Harry. If this is where the blaming process starts, let's do it right. Let's look at the plans. It's a proton decay experiment. You're making a bomb, weren't you?
Sergeant, it's all right. This is a trouble. I'm sorry, Rebecca. He was a good man.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. There was an explosion. What was Brian doing in there?
Let me just arrange for somebody to take you home.
No, I'm not leaving here. What'd you do with my husband, damn it? What'd you do with Brian?
Kingsley, how can I help? I'll be glad to take you home.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll be fine.
All right, Austin, we have to face the media. No, you and Harry face the press, Howard. I've got work to do. The explosion was here on the other side of the design lab's north wall.
Where the uranium was being stored?
Right. At 2 minutes to 10, the pile's cooling system shut down, and about 20 minutes later, the uranium overheated and exploded.
Exploded? Like an atom bomb?
No, it was a thermal explosion. The container blew up. Right now, the stuff's still in there, slowly eating its way through the building.
Who or what caused the cooling system to shut down?
Massive circuit burnout in one of the conduits.
And what caused that?
Power surge in the main line.
And what caused that?
Program failure in an in-house unit.
Charging to remove.
Probably a programmer's error.
That's it?
Probably a programmer's error, which means anyone with a knowledge of programming could have put the error in intentionally.
Are you hinting at something? Like maybe this was a non-accident?
3 fail-safe units fail catastrophically at the same time. I love a good coincidence, but that usually means someone's been meddling.
And the suspects are?
Well,
Austin James resident. David! Hi! No, I just didn't expect you to call this late.
trace the call. Have all workshop phones changed and draft a memo to employee Michelle Catherine notifying her that office phones are not to be used for personal calls. And find out everything you can on David.
No, I had a great time. No, my boss just found out there was a finite number of palindromic something or other. Yeah. David, I can't talk right now. Can I call you back later? Okay. See you. Bye.
Well, David's a little insecure.
Insecure? Austin, he was concerned.
He was concerned about the impression he made on you tonight. A simple question like, did you have a good time, is really a demand for recognition as the superior member of the Pair Association.
Austin, you don't know what a good time is.
How was Rebecca Kingsley tonight?
I think it was obvious. Why?
I kept tabs on her eye contact. She almost never looked at anybody. But when she did, 5 out of 6 times, it was Harold Putnam.
Okay. Now tell me what that's supposed to mean.
It's information. Information always means something. Especially when a murder's been committed.
This is absurd. Howard, I'm sorry. I can't let Austin destroy Serendip with rumor and innuendo about murder.
It's not innuendo, it's an observation. I found the program error. It's as neat as a pin. Somebody killed Kingsley with about the neatest Rube Goldberg machine I've ever seen, and then tried to hide it in plain sight.
We found the error, too. We know who did it.
Let me guess. The inexperienced programmer who you fired 3 weeks ago.
Austin, be reasonable.
We're about to get an affidavit from the boy saying he remembers making the mistake.
A mistake that got past 3 supervisors, a department head, and Harold Putnam.
Let me get this straight.
Are you saying that I'm an incompetent or a murderer?
I haven't decided, Harry. But when I see you parked in Brian Kingsley's space today.
What?
Val Kennedy from Quantum Insurance is here.
Austin, I've known Harold Putnam for 12 years. Just because he's ambitious doesn't mean he's a killer or incompetent. And don't say anything about murder to the insurance dragoon. Send her in. Val, come in. Good to see you. You're looking lovely.
See you.
I'd like to introduce you. Harold Putnam, our acting chief executive officer. Austin James, our president. Right over here. Sit. Make yourself comfortable. It's good to know our insurance company is right by our side on this one. We can accept a check anytime.
There's a hold on that, Mr. Millhouse, until the investigation is complete.
Investigation?
Well, there are some unusual circumstances.
What circumstances?
6 days ago, Mr. Kingsley took out a $2.5 million life insurance policy from our company.
And you suspect?
Suicide. Looks like a textbook case. And if so, Quantum's responsibility with serendip is in question.
Brian had absolutely no reason. No money problems, no health or marital problems.
Marital problems are sometimes hidden, Mr. Putnam, even to best friends. The beneficiary of Mr. Kingsley's $2.5 million is his live-in housekeeper, Liz Layton, and she's a knockout.
So, the housekeeper seduces him, gets him to take out an insurance policy naming her, then arranges the explosion.
A housekeeper who's part sex kitten, part nuclear scientist.
Because the woman's sexy, she can't think? Is that what you're saying?
I meant that if your theory's right, she probably had inside help.
Besides stepping the question.
Many beautiful women learn early that they don't have to use their brains to get ahead. Society unfairly rewards beautiful dumb women.
And dim-witted men who can throw a football.
I once calculated Franz Tarken's brain muscle coordination during critical pass situations.
All right. You tell me again, what are we supposed to be?
Subsurface depository engineers. Gravediggers.
I can't wait to see her. I have a perfect image in my mind of what she looks like.
Many men have affairs with women that resemble their wives.
A buck says he went to Variety. The upstairs maid with breasts of doom.
Make it 5.
5. Yes. Are you the housekeeper?
Yes.
The Kingsley's housekeeper?
Yes.
I'm sorry. We were expecting someone...
Your breast of doom. I'm Mr. Bentlow. This is Miss Cribb. Bentlow and Son's funeral home. Give us your loved one. We'll do the rest.
I'm the new housekeeper. Just started today.
Is that right?
The other girl got the heave-ho from the missus. She's leaving today. Mrs. Kingsley didn't say anything about you coming.
In light of her current tragedy, I can understand her forgetting. But arrangements have to be made.
I thought the old guy was locked up in some room for 10,000 years.
Oh, he is. But there will be a coffin.
With a material substitute in lieu of his body.
Oh, don't look at me.
Actually, we were thinking more along the lines of some meaningful personal effect.
For instance, there was a millionaire lost at sea last month. We buried his Rolls Royce.
A favorite suit and tie will suffice. Miss Cribb, the bedroom.
I think you should wait for Mrs. Kingsley.
Can I help you? The housekeeper said the undertakers were stealing one of Mr. Kingsley's suits. I'm Liz Layton.
I'll have to write you a check.
No, we were just looking for some personal effects of Mr. Kingsley for the funeral service. Things with special meaning.
I'd be very interested in any ideas that you may have.
Yes, I guess I might. I knew Mr. Kingsley almost 7 months.
This must be a very difficult time for you. Our condolences.
Thank you. Mr. Kingsley was always very good to me. That brown suit and tie was always one of his favorites.
Why?
Because the first time he wore it was... Just take it.
Choose to. What kind of employer was he? Character clue. We also have a eulogy writing service.
Oh. Generous.
Oh, just a character clue.
He was kind. Gentle. You know, all that old Boy Scout kind of stuff.
You're sure Mrs. Kingsley won't object to us taking all this?
I doubt it. Last night while Mr. Kingsley was dying, Mrs. Kingsley was out on a date. Put that in your eulogy. Oh, my taxes. I hope I've given you everything you need.
You certainly have.
See you at the service. Oh, the funeral. I don't think so. You see, I have to be in Greece. I'm buying an island.
Right after I pick up my insurance money.
Goodbye.
And good help is so hard to find. You know something.
I suspect something.
Sounded like Liz thought Rebecca Kingsley was having an affair.
She was, with Harold Putnam.
Boy, eye contact is everything with you.
About 91%. And something else. Putnam started staring at the Whiz computer program. Whoever put that error in that software was a crook.
You could have done it.
Of course.
What about Brian Kingsley?
Yeah, him too? Why?
Quantum suicide theory. Maybe he did kill himself.
Would you kill yourself with somebody like Liz in your life? Forget I asked that. That's interesting.
What's interesting?
Almost brand new. Scuff marks on the injured leg are hardly visible. That's the way it was with all of Kingsley's shoes at the house.
So, he was a guy who liked to wear new shoes.
I agree. But the shoes I saw at the NDL lab were old and broken in. They looked like shoes somebody was ready to give away.
Are you thinking they were somebody else's shoes?
Not exactly.
We're going someplace. Farringdon.
We better get one last look at that pair of legs before they disappear under 50 tons of concrete.
What's a spectrophotometer?
Spectrophotometer reads the chemical makeup of air. In our case, the atmosphere over the bottom.
Works for me.
When I'm done, we'll know as much as we possibly can about that room without having to go into it. Trace of butane, methane, sensitive fibers, carbon soot. I'm scanning for anything out of the ordinary.
Doesn't the radiation in there interfere?
No, on the contrary, it enhances the reading. Wait, 0.003 density ethyl alcohol. And what appears to be great concentrate.
Sounds like bad punch from a fraternity toga party.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
This cheap wine. This doesn't go well at all with sunflower seeds and RP. Let's try the X-ray microtrace. No scar tissue on the joint? No ligament, cartilage damage, just some minor calcium deposits.
So where's this famous knee injury that scuffed up his shoes?
It isn't there. There's something else. The man in that room is a right-hander.
You sure?
Yeah, there's a slight asymmetry in the bone structure from years of favoring the right side. It's my own diagnostic technique.
So what you're saying is that the shoes are Kingsley's, the pants are Kingsley's, and the socks are Kingsley's.
But the legs in that room belong to somebody else.
Quantum is not the leading insurer of scientific research and development in this country by accident. We're involved because we care. We care about providing a safe, working environment for today's pioneers.
Never seen the manure pile so high, Austin.
How'd you do it, Howard?
It was easy. We called the Fed. They don't like a nuclear room lying around any more than we do.
How much?
20 million. It'll hardly cover the containment cost.
Therefore, we are pleased today to present this
And then the dirtbags have the nerve to cancel our policy.
Harold Putnam.
Austin, aren't you going to tell them?
This time I'm going to watch. Let Mrs. Kingsley have the honor. It's a classical experimental method. Put the elements together and observe the explosion.
No one can ever replace Brian Kingsley. But with help from the good people at Quantum, men and women can continue to pursue his dream for a newer and a safer world.
As you know, Quantum also provided life insurance for Serendip executives. Following the wishes of Brian Kingsley, we'd like to present this check for $2.5 million to his dear friend, Miss Liz Layton.
I hate to throw a monkey wrench into your plans, honey, but you're up a gold digger's creek without a paddle. And without a check. Austin James says my husband isn't dead.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Kingsley, but that's not what I said. What I said was the dead man in the NDL is not Brian Kingsley. But that doesn't mean that Brian Kingsley isn't dead, too.
Your experiment's just exploded.
So who the devil is in there?
Somebody who drinks cheap red wine with his right hand.
In all probability, a street derelict has become Serendip's most permanent residence.
The latest in an incredible series of Austin James observations. So, you no longer think I'm the murderer?
Don't worry, Harry. This doesn't necessarily let you off the hook.
I do not believe for a second that Harold killed anyone.
Now you can provide a better alibi than that.
Why, you little chunk of sailor bait.
You know what I say? I say that the two of them did in poor Brian. He's been having an affair for months.
And just what were you doing with my husband?
Ladies, please try to bring some dignity to this moment.
There is no proof that the body in there isn't Brian's. Now can I please have my check? Unless we prove absolutely that the body is Brian Kingsley, we will not pay off any life insurance policy. But we can't prove that it's Brian.
Sure we can. Give me 10 minutes.
All right. Now our problem is this. No human being can go into the lab and survive, but the mouse can. The only trouble is that the body is located in a spot that the mouse can't maneuver to. But with a camera mounted this high, we'll be able to see the face when the mouse gets within 6 feet.
Is there any danger?
No, I've programmed it to make sure the outer door is closed before opening the inner one. Here we go.
Transmission. What happened? Could be the antenna has caught on the latch mechanism.
There should be enough clearance.
It left the outer door open.
The program hasn't reached that subroutine yet.
Your credibility continues to suffer here, Mr. President. I'm leaving.
I think we should all leave.
Damn it, Austin.
I believe I can release this now.
I'll meet you outside. Just a few minutes, Mickey.
Is there anything I can do, Mr. James?
No, Matthew, you've helped enough.
I'll go scrub down the mouth. It's got to be decontaminated.
No, wait. There is something you can do. Rewind the tape. Play it back on the monitor.
Okay, so it was Brian Kingsley in there, so you were wrong. The idea of putting the camera on the robot was ingenious. There's still a question as to whether it was murder, accident, or suicide. It's not over yet. Austin, you're not infallible. You're not all-powerful. You cannot attend to the fall of every acorn.
Siege of Vicksburg.
Huh?
During the Civil War, the people of Vicksburg were so hungry and destitute, they ate dogs and rats and made tea out of acorns.
What does that have to do with Brian Kingsley?
I said acorns, it made me think of tea. Why?
Is it thirsty?
It's serious.
I don't know why. Because it's a popular drink. Because I drink tea. Because Brian Kingsley drank herbal tea. Because my mother makes spice tea at Christmas. Because...
Turn around.
Why?
Because it isn't Brian Kingsley in that room.
Austin?
Turn around and step on it or we'll be too late.
Pulled it off. Saved my life.
Oh, my God, you're broiled.
Relax. Two large persons just scrubbed me down with wire brushes. Takes a little skin off.
Lucky the mouse showed up.
Wasn't luck. Cheap design. That robot? Cheap? It reads its orders in a loop unless specifically instructed otherwise. When I programmed the mouse to take the video camera into the lab, I was in effect telling it to repeat the maneuver endlessly.
You were saved by a blithering idiot?
That's one way of looking at it.
Could you see who hit you?
No, he was wearing a radiation suit. And something else. A brand new pair of shoes under the boots.
How could you know that?
I heard them squeak when he walked.
Kingsley's shoes.
Yes, Kingsley's shoes. But this time, Kingsley was in them. He's alive.
Austin, you're doing it again. We just saw Kingsley lying down dead in the nuclear design lab.
Did we? Let's take another peek.
That looks like Kingsley to me.
It is. But here's what I want you to see. The teacup is full. But when I went back to the lab window, the teacup clearly was not full. Almost 1/4 has evaporated. You're watching a videotape, a pre-recorded videotape. It happened when the mouse was bumping around in the airlock. Kingsley switched our monitor to a tape that he made before the explosion, just in case somebody had the bright idea to send the mouse in with a camera. He's alive. He's in the building.
He never left.
I'm calling the police.
They'll think you're nuts. We've got to find Kingsley.
I get it now. Kingsley picked up some poor street person who matched his general description. But then how did he get the body into the NDL lab without anyone noticing?
He had help. A lot of it.
Liz.
Well, Liz had to know about it so they could get the insurance money. But he had inside help, too.
Well, it couldn't have been Harold Putnam.
It wasn't. He has a solid alibi. Rob Kingsley was working late. Putnam was genetically entwined with Mrs. Kingsley.
Then who?
I have an idea, but... It's... the lair.
This is where Kingsley's been hiding. Juice, sunflower seeds.
But we're too late. The bird has flown.
No, somebody would have seen him.
Not if he went out the same way he got the wino in, which is...
You're giving me that look again. How should I know? Registered mail?
He couldn't have gotten out. Everybody's watching.
He's out or on his way.
How?
Same way he got his surrogate lab replacement in without anyone seeing. By making it obvious. By making you sign for it. What are you, crazy? Hey, get out of there. What are in these? Who wants to know?
The president of Serendip.
Hey, I just load them and unload them. Delivered the day of the explosion. Teledyne computer system. Nice big boxes. Those boxes are empty, pal. All but one.
That's it. We've looked through all of them. No Kingsley.
This is the way he did it. It has to be. Was there another pickup, an earlier pickup? Well, yeah. Gary got the first load. He left for the Oak Park warehouse 10 minutes before I finished loading. That's it!
We'll call the Oak Park police to intercept that truck. Let's move. Go.
Hey, man, who's going to load these things back in the truck? Dispatcher's office and tell them to hold that truck. Hey, buddy, you need a hand? Me? Thanks. No, I got the company wagon coming. They pay me just the same.
You sure it's the right truck? You're absolutely sure? Okay, thanks. The dispatcher said that Gary guy just called in. His truck broke down. He's behind it somewhere.
Then why didn't we see it?
I think it's getting ridiculous. But that's pretty normal for us, huh?
What did I do? Open the back of the truck. I think we got it. Help me with it.
Mr. Kingsley.
Good.
Again.
Looks like he was strangled.
Loops. You have to close the loops.
Kingsley needed inside help to beat security. He also was too squeamish to murder anyone himself, so he chose the perfect accomplice. But his accomplice later turned around and killed him. The killer's right inside that door. All right, Matson, you can come in now. Kingsley smuggled his victim into Serendip alive. Once inside, the robot killed him. Kingsley had programmed it to strangle anyone found hiding in an teledyne crate. But then he made a mistake. When it was time for him to escape Serendip, Kingsley went back to the robot for help. He needed it to steal the crate and make it look authentic. But he forgot to remove the killer program. And as I found out in the airlock, the robot repeats its instructions endlessly. When he climbed into the crate, the robot did just what it had been programmed always to do. Again. Thank you.
Austin!
Command override, Charlie 135. It caught Kingsley by surprise. He didn't have time to give the voice command to stop it.
So was it really the old shoes that gave Kingsley away?
He's too vain to waste any of his good pairs on a dead man. I've seen stupider mistakes. Here. That's for you.
$5. What's that for?
I pay my debt.
Oh, Liz. Oh, guess you won't be getting that money for the Greek island. She and Kingsley must have thought they had it made. Austin, what is a palindromic crime?
A metaphor for life. You finish at the same place you start out, and it's all divisible by 11.
I wish David would call.
Did you know he was the worst speller in Mrs. Rutledge's 6th grade class?
Who?
He never finished college. He drinks martinis, he has a plastic implant in his chin, and he watches professional wrestling.
How could you possibly...
Here, look at this.
What? His father was a Nazi war criminal?
This is David in 30 years.
My David?
Computer extrapolation based on positive photographs of David, his older brother Phil, his dad, and a great uncle named Keeper. Look at the premature physical deterioration. Like with stock. I'd be happy to do this for you anytime you want. You know, I mean, I've got picture banks of information of genetic and physical characteristics that might be compatible with you, with anyone you find you think is interesting. Maybe if I hadn't included the train wreck and the 90-foot fall, it would have looked better.
The mysteries of aliens, the magic of Houdini, the miracles of angels. Now the real stories and events are explained in a thrilling original series, Mysteries, Magic, and Miracles, hosted by Patrick McNee. Coming up next.